We have Professor James Moore, who is the Daniel P. Stone Professor in Intellectual and Moral Philosophy in the Department of Philosophy here at Dartmouth. He is an expert in the philosophy of mind, the philosophy of science, and the philosophy of computers, which I really like that. And I'm just going to tell you two of his many books. One is called Cyber Philosophy, The Intersection of Philosophy and Computing. And another, not because it's the topic here, but just because I think it's really interesting, Nanoethics, the ethical and social implications of nanotechnology. So we're very happy to have Professor Moore. And now, because they're in a different order, we have Professor Mark Williams, who is Associate Professor of Film and Television Studies here at Dartmouth. He is an expert on media history and on new media, and I guess you can say new media history, although it's pretty new, and the implications of new media in society. And on the end there, we have Charles Palmer, who is the Chief Technical Officer of Security and Privacy at IBM, and whose expertise is here on our panel today and here at Dartmouth because he is because of his role as strategic advisor to the I3P. So Charles is here at Dartmouth regularly. Okay, so what are we going to do today? We're asking questions about what is the line between public and private lives, and what role does new technology play in where that line is, in our perceptions of that line? Does it change where that line is or challenge that? We might think a little bit about where that line should be, that line between public and private, why different people have different perceptions of where that public and private line is, how that varies across us and across individual characteristics, and also how different types of social actors might think about that line. So whether it's individuals like you and me, whether it's organizations like Dartmouth College, or like a firm, or the government, for example. How do they think about the line? When do they cross the line? What's the role? Who's out there protecting that line? So these are all questions we're going to think about today. Lots of interesting issues and questions, but we are going to try to organize it a little bit because we could go off into many directions, as we ourselves found out every time we talked about this. So first, we want to think about both the pros and the cons of issues like privacy and what's public and what's private. So we're not only thinking about the risks or threats or problems of privacy, but are there benefits that come from thinking about